Hello guys, it's me Alpine. Today I'm going to be going to the history of AlpineWall2. Oh my god, where do I even begin? Oh man, okay, so where do I begin here? Just to let y'all know, it's a long story. So I definitely been through a lot on the platform. I might jump to different specific events in time because I have a hard time organizing my thoughts and feelings and just trying to explain everything as best as I can. But I'm going to do the best I can to explain to y'all what on earth happened with me. So it all begins in 2018 where I get my first Xbox, and I was very excited at the time because I never got an Xbox in my life. I remember playing on the Xbox 360 back in my school, in my elementary school, and I would play Just Dance on it, and that was fun. I played Just Dance 3, Just Dance 4. The first time I ever got my gaming console, because see, I got a handheld console way before I had an Xbox, but what really made me want to get Xbox was because of the fact that I was obsessed with the Battle Royale called Fortnite. My parents didn't let me play Fortnite at the time because they saw it was just shooting and building, and they were just under the assumption that every game on Xbox is a shooter when I was just trying to tell them, and I kept begging them to let me get one. Anyways, after months of me convincing my parents to let me get an Xbox, they finally decided to give me one. It took some time, maybe like a couple months or two, but I can't remember how much my 1S was at the time when I got it, but it was probably like maybe $500. So I mean, the 1S is like very old now. It's probably, I mean, it's not the oldest consoles that Microsoft has. The lifespan on it can probably last a little bit longer. Anyways, fast forward, I get my Xbox, I set it up, and I immediately, before I even started playing Fortnite, I play a game that I used to play on my iPad. Well, no, it's my sister's iPad, but I played a game called Fallout Shelter. And this game, Fallout Shelter, I had no idea what I was doing. I just kept rushing rooms and moving dwellers around different rooms, just in hopes of trying to succeed. So I played that, and then I eventually played Fortnite, the game I wanted to play. I did play Fortnite a little bit in the past on my stepmom's laptop, which ran pretty decent, but for games like Fortnite, there was a lot of lag just because there was no graphics card unit, and I didn't even know how to build or shoot. I didn't even know anything about Fortnite whatsoever. I was a complete noob at the game, hands down. I will admit, I was playing in Chapter 1, Season 5, and I had no idea what I was doing. I kept dying a lot. But I was playing on a really bad mouse, not like one of these pro mouses that you guys see right now. So this is a pro mouse with mouse 4, mouse 5. I didn't play on those things. I played on just a regular mouse. And all of a sudden, I looked at my Epic Games playtime and saw that I had maybe like 200 hours on the game. I guess because I was playing a lot with squads. So maybe that's the reason why. Anyways, I play Fortnite on my Xbox, and it runs a lot better. It runs smoother too. But prior to this also, I met someone, well, I didn't meet this person online, but I knew this person because he's a family friend. So he goes by the Buzz 1969, and oh my god, it is actually raining outside. I don't know why. I'm actually genuinely worried that there's going to be a thunderstorm. So I add him. He has no mic. I've been told by my mother that he does have quite of a potty mouth, and he's into some of the same games I'm into too, like Minecraft and Fortnite, and we just ended up playing Fortnite together. Around this time, I didn't even have a headset, so I was just playing straight up with just a controller and the sound audio coming through the TV. So me and him would play Fortnite a couple matches. We would play Playground Mode, and that was pretty much the first friend I would say I made. Well, not made on there, but just played with in general. I kept playing Fortnite, just trying to learn the game. I even live streamed myself, showcasing myself playing Fortnite on Xbox. It was on my, what used to be my old channel, but it's gone now. So, I mean, there's that. Just letting you guys know a lot of what I'm talking about. It goes a lot deeper than what most of y'all realize. And I have a really bad memory. I have like a really bad memory when it comes to remembering things, but I'm trying to explain everything as best as I can. I was in school, it was lunch period, and I wanted to go visit someone. This person I met, well, I know his real name, but I'm not gonna say it, but I didn't even know this at the time, but he had Xbox, and his gamer tag went by the Mint Gold 10 or Mint Gold 10. His original gamer tag was Mint Gold 10 1045 something. Anyway, it was Mint Gold. That was his gamer tag. I knew this guy in school. We would always visit for lunch. I would go to his homeroom, and we would just have a good time. Well, I knew that we were friends. We were like best friends, almost homies at the time, maybe like a couple years back. But I didn't even know he had Xbox. After many months of us having lunch visits, eventually what happened was, since he came to my homeroom, we were just having conversations, but he would go on to talking about other students, which none of the staff in my homeroom wanted to hear. He was told numerous times to stop going behind people's backs, and yet he didn't listen. I wasn't made fully aware of this at the time because I was just trying to not go behind people's backs as well. I just wanted to have a good time and spend time with him. and just for us to hang out. But he did this so much to the point where the staff had to kick him out, and then he had to go back to his homeroom. I also went to his homeroom too one day to go visit him myself, and me and him would just be talking, and we would be just having conversations. I don't know about what exactly, but me and him were talking about Fortnite from what I remember. That's all. Let's just say hypothetically we were talking about Fortnite. And then eventually he asked for my Xbox. Like he asked like if I played Xbox, and I said yes. And then he said, "Do you want my gamer tag?" And so I asked for his gamer tag. I gave him mine. And then that's how it all started. That's where everything began. Me and him started playing on Xbox, just me and him. He only wanted to just be me and him. He was willing to teach me how to play and build and do 90s and all this stuff and editing. And I let him. And I believe the first time we 1v1'd, he wasn't even playing as if he was 1v1ing. He was just building a castle in the sky and building structures and whatnot. And I wasn't even learning anything from him. But I do remember that the amount of times I did play Fortnite with him, he would go on to saying a lot of fucked up shit about teachers and staff from my school and also the students. Like he would say things along the lines of like, "Oh, would you fuck this student?" Or "Would you go and fuck this teacher?" Or "This teacher's hot, don't you think so?" Stuff like that. It made me feel very uncomfortable because I wanted me and him to be friends. I thought I was gonna have fun with him, but he would say a lot of things that are over the top, and that would make me feel very uncomfortable. I would get so aggravated and tell him to stop, but he never did. He just kept going. I'm pretty sure around this time I've gotten to meet his other online friends, one of them being Cece, aka Chris, who he was a complete dick because the one time that me and him played, we were playing Aragami Shadow Edition. I remember this very well. I can't remember the entirety of what happened, but I was struggling on one of the missions that I was trying to get past. Or no, he introduced me to the game. I played with him, and he said that he's willing to get me through most of the chapters, and I only got through maybe like 3 chapters of the game with him. But then I decided to take a break, and then he gets all pissed off and then starts giving me an attitude saying that, "Oh, I literally just beat the game without you. Like, you fucking suck." And then I got pissed off because I wasn't even good at it. So he was getting pissed off at me because I quote unquote didn't even know how to play a stealth game. He was willing to help me, but he was just being a total dick. I think I blocked him after that, but I'm not too sure as to if that's what happened or not. All I remember happening is that I was playing with him, and we were playing Aragami Shadow Edition, and he's got through most of the acts, most of the chapters, and I got stuck, and I was really bad at it, and I didn't want to deal with this bullshit, so I blocked him. And there's this other person that he did meet called Goalie King, which I don't remember what happened with Goalie King. Well, actually, no, I don't remember anything that happened with Goalie King. So anyways, it was me and Mint. We were playing Fortnite, and he went on to saying that he's willing to be my Fortnite teacher. And so he tried teaching me how to build, and I was literally learning absolutely nothing. We kept dying so many times in duos. We were both stupid, and we were really bad, and we weren't even focusing on Fortnite at all. Like, it was just about random bullshit. And he then kept on saying over-the-top shit. It was a lot of... He kept talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. Like, it was, at the time, he was very annoying and talking too much. Like, we couldn't even focus on the game at all. Until the next day I did visit him. I remember being introduced to one of his other friends, who I also became friends with, along with someone else. And his gamer tag went by the name of, I want to say Beef My Frank, but his gamer tag was something else. And it's literally his real name, which I'm not going to mention. Yeah, so Beef My Frank, that is the person that I am talking about. He was friends with Mint. They used to be friends. They used to play. They were like best friends at the time, but he did the same shit around him and was saying over-the-top stuff and going behind people's backs, which he didn't tolerate. And he asked him numerous times to stop. Like, he would say things like, "Would you do this?" or "Would you do that?" or "Would you want to fuck this teacher?" or "Lay down for," or some stupid shit like that. I got introduced to Mint Gold from someone else. I thought me and him just straight up met on Xbox, but no, I knew him prior when I was in school. Then me, Beef My Frank, and Mint, we all play Fortnite, and we were all like cool at the time. It was just that from the straight up beginning. And then once again, he kept rambling and rambling and rambling, and we weren't even focused on the game. There came the argument of him and Beef just going on to discussion on to who's the best Fortnite teacher, who's the better teacher. And then he was saying, "I am the Fortnite teacher," and then Beef was like, "No, I need to teach him. You don't teach him shit," or something like that. I can't remember if that's exactly what he said, but that was the idea that I had in my mind. They were just both going back at it, back and forth, arguing as to, "Oh, I can teach him better. You're not doing jack shit." And he had to tell him multiple times to be quiet because he just kept talking. And so Beef was trying to teach me. He's the reason why you're seeing me do 90s and waterfall. Well, waterfalling I learned on my own, but mostly 90s and just tips on how to survive build fights. That was all on him. So he then went on to teaching me how to play. He went on to coaching me on what to do in different situations. He even said at one point that I tend to overbuild and I tend to get hesitant in fights, which I didn't know at the time because I was just trying to get used to building. The more games I did play with him, I started to get an idea on what I was doing and why I was dying. But yeah, he went on to teaching me how to play. He went on to teaching me just how to get better. And then around this time, when me and him were playing, he invited one of his other friends from 225, who I also met, which his name at the time went by Toxic Soldier 49, now being Toxic Equinox, which was another student in 225, who I never met in person at the time. It was just me finding out about him. So it was me, him, and then Beef eventually brought Mint Gold in. Then we all played Fortnite. And then I believe, if I'm correct, he might have been on Sea of Thieves. No, that was Apex. But yeah, we were all playing Fortnite. We were all learning. We were all just having a good time, joking around. We wanted to all focus on the game, but Mint Gold was rambling out dumb shit. He was just trying to cause problems. If anything, Mint wanted to fit in. He wanted to fit in with the friend group. And he wanted to... He was just becoming jealous because he had no one else. He was his friend. He felt like no one else talked to him at all. And then, since we all played, we kept playing a couple games together until eventually they got sick and tired of him. And then he got kicked from a party. And so I stayed in the party. And then he spam invited me over and over and over and over and over. And I didn't even know what to do because I was just playing with them. And I knew I just had to cut ties with him because I knew I was being taken advantage of. It was the constant guilt tripping. I should feel bad for what I've done. He was making me feel bad because I've hurt his feelings or whatnot. Or I'm playing with these people that were quote unquote treating me like shit. And that was the idea that he planted in my head that literally sprouted like a flower. And yeah, it was just this whole situation that happened. I was just playing with this friend group who I was cool with in the beginning. I was happy. For some reason, all of a sudden, I was happy. And then so, if I remember correctly, I left the party just to go play with Mint Gold. The days that they weren't on, me and him would play, and they would constantly try to invite me in. I didn't even know what to do because I was being manipulated into and demonized by wanting to play with him and didn't realize he was taking advantage of me and that he was toxic. So I played a couple more games with him until eventually I ended up blocking him because he was just becoming too toxic. He was just getting overly jealous, and he was also maybe at one point accusing me of shit. Most importantly, he would just become overly jealous. That's the main thing. He was always about getting attention in the past by saying over the top shit. Like he thought everyone would like to hear and that it was funny, but it wasn't. I went in school the next day, and then he ends up telling me like, "Oh, why'd you block me?" With just a sad face. It means that I should feel bad. I didn't have a reason to block him. I couldn't even say anything to him when that happened because I felt like I had to block him just to get him off my back. And so I would continue playing with this friend group, and then we would jump on other games. The second game I remember us playing, I was introduced to one of Equinox's friends, which being Offhand Tangent too. Well, used to be Offhand Tangent, but now Offhand Tangled, who also has another group of friends that I've met. One of them being this one guy I met. His name is Auto Assassin. And the other guy named Raichu52, but his gamer tag's now Raptor Jesus, but he used to go by Raichu. Back on Xbox 360, and then me and him and Auto Assassin, we would end up playing Titanfall 2 until like 4 in the morning. Because it was a game that Offhand was trying to get me to install. And he was trying to, I wouldn't say pressurize, but like he was praising it so much on how good it is. But that's later on down the line. I'm talking about Apex. So that was the first time I met Offhand, and I installed the game the week after it came out, and Equinox was playing Sea of Thieves, just screaming, literally just about the randomest bullshit happening. Meanwhile, I'm focused on winning, and I'm like, oh, we have to win, we have to win, we have to win, we have to win. And then Equinox was like, no, you don't. You're putting too much pressure on yourself. And then later on in the match, Offhand was like, oh, it's the Mastiff, it's the Mastiff. I found the Mastiff, it's the Mastiff, it's the Mastiff. Oh my god, it's the Mastiff. It's the Mastiff from Titanfall 2. Oh my god. Because see, here's the thing. In Season 0, Season 1, the Mastiff was one of the most broken guns in the game at that time. That's why he was getting that way. And then Equinox was like, how many times are you going to repeat yourself? Holy shit. And yeah, that's where the whole like fucking around humor really started, from what I know. I didn't really know how to react in that situation. I was just focused on playing. But it was just dumb fucking around and joking around while we were just trying to maintain having a good time. And we ended up winning because I got carried. Well, I was still in the match, but I didn't even get any kills. But I can't remember what happened after that match. But anyway, that was just one example. That was the first time I met Offhand, who then I eventually, later on down the line, I played other games with. Me and him and I think someone else and one of his other friends, we were playing Destiny 2. We did this one mission where we tried to get the Whisper. He was telling me that he can help me get the gun. But, oh wait, no, it was me, him, and Equinox was in the party. And I went AFK a couple times. And then he got pissed because I went AFK during the mission that we had to start all over again. And then Equinox got pissed off at me. I could be wrong. I don't think he was on Destiny 2 at the time. But yeah, I would play that with him. And then eventually me, him, and Offhand, and Auto Assassin, and Raichu, we would all play Apex a couple times, which I got introduced to his friends. Then Offhand was in telling me to get Titanfall 2. It's a good game. I didn't get it at first because I didn't ask my parents. I didn't convince them. So I just decided once I had the money, I bought the game. And then me, Offhand, Auto Assassin, and Raichu we ended up playing. And then me, Raichu, and Auto Assassin, we stayed up late playing until like 4 in the morning, like 5, and I got like tired. But it was a fun game. I liked it. I don't talk to them anymore. They're all dead to me, so that's about it. So yeah, it's a lot of moments of me playing with Offhand's friends, playing with Equinox's friends a little bit, and eventually I met KSP, which his gamer tag originated from KSP Executioner, which was a gamer tag that his brother came up with. But since he's his brother, he decided to put KSP Bro in regards to him. He was also in 225 at this time. So all these people that I mentioned so far: Offhand, Equinox, KSP, Beef My Frank, Mint Gold 10. These people were all in 225, and I was super popular at the time for some odd reason. Like, it's almost as if they liked to have me there because I was just a cool guy. I didn't know how to feel in the slightest because I thought they didn't even want me in there. The next game I remember installing too was Dauntless, which is a game that got shut down. Which the game already shut down. Me, Equinox, and Offhand would end up playing it, and I'm pretty sure Offhand was the first person to tell me to install it, or it might have been Equinox that told me to install it. And so I played. Oh no, wait, no, KSP was there too. Yeah, it was me, KSP, Offhand, and Equinox that we all played Dauntless, and we were all just like messing around. I knew nothing about the game. We were just fighting behemoths and whatnot, and I'm pretty sure that's when everything was fine. Really, I don't remember if there's been any arguments. I don't know if there have been any like rumors, allegations, like he said, she said, whatever. All I know is that during that time, it was all fine. I met KSP off of the first time I ever met him I didn't meet him in person per se, but the first time he was in the party was when I was watching him stream Hunter Call of the Wild, which that was like the first time that was the first time I met him on Xbox, or no, / real life. I have to go to my Xbox game library just to keep track on the games I used to play in the past, just so I get an idea on to explain the timeline as to what everything happened. I have so many games, it is crazy. It's so crazy to think about. This whole video is probably going to be hours upon hours long. It's actually that crazy. There's another time that me and KSP were in a party because, see, here's the thing. Most of 2019 was also where I was in parties with KSP. And we would go on to playing games like Trove. We would end up going to play games like Siege. We would end up going to playing games like... I don't remember any of the games that we played, but those are the games I remember playing with him. So I would play Trove with him because he would get mad also because I don't understand anything about the game. I don't know anything about Stellar Gems. I don't know anything about Uber Worlds, and that's where everything started to crumble down, because at least to what I know, because I would eventually stop playing with his friend group and it would just be me and him, and then he wanted to talk to me more because I guess I was cool. Me and him ended up playing Destiny 2 at one point, and this is like the first heated argument that I remember happening. No, it was like many games overall, but I got pissed off and sick and tired of him because he was coming off as if he was a know-it-all, and that's what not only made me hate him but hate the friend group, because I was just seeing him as the quote-unquote bad guy, and I just had lost thoughts on whether or not I should have belonged in that friend group or not. The first time I remember me and him playing Destiny 2, I would call him a retard, and yes, I shouldn't say that word, but I called him a retard because he quote-unquote doesn't know the difference between a kinetic weapon and an energy weapon. And then he cussed me out. We got into a full-on argument, full-on verbal fight. I cussed him out and I left the party. There's been numerous times of me being on calls with him, especially on Google Hangouts and especially on Discord. I don't remember everything that happened, but these are the things that I do remember going through at the time. I do remember probably in the summer of 2000, I want to say maybe 2019, me, Equinox, and KSP, and I believe offhand, or no, it was just me, Equinox, and KSP. We would be playing Brawlhalla. That was the first time I got introduced to it because Equinox introduced me to it, and I had a fun time playing. We were just messing around. We were just like hitting each other off the stages and whatnot. And I was playing Mordex, a character that I was obsessed with playing. So all I did was just keep spamming and spamming and spamming his light ability over and over and over and over, like his heavy ability, until Equinox gets pissed off and he's like, fucking stop! Like, I just kept spamming over and over again to where he just got obliteratedly pissed. And then KSP was mad because that was the only move I used. Like, he was just getting that pissed because I don't know how to play the game. So there was that situation. This is like 2019, I want to say. I'm just jumping from different events in time, not really explaining everything in chronological order. There's been another time as well where I believe in 2019, if I'm looking at my game achievements right now, I mean, man, so much has happened during that time. I mean, I'm trying to get to the good parts. We would play Minecraft as well. So here comes everything into play, because during this time also I was into Minecraft. I mean, I've always been to Minecraft for like years straight, but apparently he was just he wasn't pissed off, but like he was very confused as to why I would play Minecraft so much when he wanted to play other games, but I was just super obsessed with Minecraft, and I would be so focused on trying to get achievements because I was focused on achievement hunting. I wanted to get the most gamer score possible, and I was just trying to beat survival mode, and I was trying to get as many achievements as I can and trying to focus on beating the game. I would play Minecraft so much to the point where Equinox would get pissed because I wouldn't stop playing Minecraft, and that was the only game I kept playing was Minecraft. And then we eventually played on my world. It was me, him, and KSP. We were all going for achievements, where I asked them, can you guys please help me? I need you guys to help me get the achievements. I'm trying to go for as many as I can. And they helped me with most of them. Like, one of the achievements was get all 16 colors of wool. And there are many other achievements too. I can't remember all of them. But yeah, we definitely, I didn't get through every single one, but they helped me through most of them. And yeah, that was fun. I had a fun time doing that. At this rate, I want to say, I guess me and Equinox did get along because it wasn't all that bad. The beef really started with Siege, but when it came to other games, it wasn't even that bad. I'm pretty sure me and Equinox, we did play Minecraft at one point. I showed him a couple of my worlds. I showed him my one world where I was building my room, the one inspiration world. It's gone, by the way. I don't have it. I don't have it saved. I don't have it backed up anywhere. That world's completely obliterated. It's gone out of existence. But let's just say I was trying to build my bedroom in Minecraft, and one of his other friends gets on. I'm pretty sure he was a griefer or a troller or whatever. I thought he was trustworthy, and he thought that too. So he brings him in the party, and they just looked at around my world until one of his other friends joins. Or no, this person that was in the party, he was telling me like, oh wait, hon, do I have it all wrong? There's an instance of one person that he knew that he was telling me not to trust because he hacks people's accounts and shit. He's not worth trusting. Like, he was telling me, don't give him your account information. He's not to be trusted by all means. I can't remember what exactly that person's names was. I think it was Legs. That might have been Legs. Well, no, Legs was not like that at all. Anyway, this one dude that was in my game, it was me, him, and this other dude, but he wasn't even in the party. Or he might have joined the world as soon as he got off, and then he just ended up griefing the shit out of everything. And I was calling him, I was trying to invite him, I was like saying, can you help, please, help, like my world's like getting destroyed, like this guy's literally destroying my world. And then he immediately got on. It was late in the night. He was trying to fix the issue, and then he got him instantly banned. He ran schematics on trying to fix the whole problem with the griefing. He tried using anvils and waterfalls. He tried resetting the world chunks, I believe, and he also tried running a schematic and a command to where the lava would push down, because he was also setting lava on top of things, but he was trying to run like multiple commands because he does have experience in programming. So he's tried numerous methods on trying to fix the whole griefing situation, until eventually it's came to a point where he told me that the best option for me to resolve this situation is just to leave my Xbox on overnight, because the command that he set is guaranteed to work. But the next day, right, when I left my Xbox on, it wasn't even on. It turned off. And then I went back on the world, and everything that I had built was still griefed. There's another game that I installed too, called Just Cause 4. Because see, the thing with Just Cause 4, the story wasn't well received. It's just known for being chaos. It's just known for being focused only on chaos and not the story itself. Anyways, I'm rambling on about a bunch of different things. I'm just telling you my experiences on with these people. I'm just telling my experience with these people on these games. But yeah, it's true. We jumped on different games. We jumped on games like Minecraft, Dauntless, and whatnot, and what have you. I've played did I play Battlefield 1 with KSB one time? I think I did. My Xbox achievements is going to help me remember exactly what happened. Oh yeah, I was talking about Just Cause 4. So back on the Just Cause 4, I was watching Equinox stream, and it looked like a really fun game. He was just fucking around, and he was just grappling around with Rico and just destroying shit. And I would end up watching, too, at one point, Beef My Frank stream, play Just Cause 4. This is when me and him did get along. I think this is where me and him and KSB did get along, because we were all just, like, having a good time and vibing. I even watched him stream Batman Arkham Origins and watched him stream Batman Arkham City when it was just me and him, because there have been days where it was just me and him and not the friend group, but I didn't spend nearly as much time with him as I did with KSB. KSB, it was always with KSB. Every single time it was with KSB. During COVID, 2019, 2020, he would always like invite me over and over and over and over. Like it would always just be me and him. See, there were no boundaries. That was the issue with the friend group. The issue with the friend group, it's not so much with Mint Gold. Well, yeah, no, I should say it was with Mint Gold because he was becoming overly jealous. But it was also with me because I didn't know how to set boundaries. I didn't know how to stick up for myself. I didn't know how to cut people off and get people off my back. But I also had individualistic issues. And I also have a habit of being defensive and being so focused on winning the argument and being argumentative and stuff like that. Just trying to always feel like I'm being in the right. To get into what went wrong with this friend group, the problem with this friend group was it was dysfunctional. It wasn't functioning well. There were no boundaries in place. Nobody opens up to each other. Everyone likes to fuck around with each other. Everyone likes to throw insults at each other, jokingly around them, whether it's around them or out at them. And then you being in that situation, you don't know if it's being directed at you or if it's being around you. And I was that person who didn't even realize it. Equinox admits that he let me in the friend group because he wanted to give me an opportunity after another opportunity. He's given me multiple chances and ends up telling me that I blew them. He gave me maybe like 5 chances, maybe a 6th one, and he said that I blew it. I'm jumping all over the place, but Just Cause 4, I beat the game, finally. I never beat the game years back. I played it years back in 2018, just to mess around and destroy stuff. But I was so focused on wanting to beat the game, which me trying to focus on trying to get through the entire game frustrated me until finally, after many years of me playing, I finally beat it. And let's just say Just Cause 4 is the most boring ass experience I've ever played. Lazy, unoriginal, and soulless. Anyway, I played a bunch of games during this time. It's a lot to go into. This is going to be a whole like deep rabbit hole because so much has happened, right? A lot of history has happened with me on here. And most of that history, it's not with these games in particular. It's with one game in mind that I was accused of being wasted money on, or I was wasting money on. And that was, Rainbow Six Siege. See, I didn't even know if I wanted this game at the time because he thought that it would just be a game that all of us would want to enjoy, including me, because he did this out of the kindness of his heart. And I just got accused of wasting money on him trying to guilt trip me into feeling bad. And you're probably asking, why are you still talking about this subject, even though you should be over it? Well, because Siege was the turning point of everything. It was a game that marked a lot of fucking shit. For example, I was being criticized on not knowing how to play operators. I was being criticized for just having a whole casual mindset and passive mindset and not being quote unquote competitive and not focused on winning. I would get blamed for things for just not carrying the team and just not helping out for the team. I would always get blamed for everything that I'd done in Siege. I'll be criticized based on the things I say and do because I wouldn't think about anything I talk about. I wouldn't think about any of my actions. And I was just being picked on and I was just being crucified every single time. I remember this one stupid discussion or this stupid argument that I will not forget to this day. And this is the only thing I think I remember prior to this. I remember 2 things prior to this whole experience, this whole Siege Fest or Siege arc, I want to say. One of them being me trying to explain to Equinox, the purpose of the drone cooldown. If you guys don't know, so we all know this, everyone knows this, we're not all stupid. You have a prep phase and an action phase. The prep phase is where you're in your drone, and your drone has a cooldown, a 2-second cooldown. I was trying to explain as best as I can, and I was being berated on him saying, oh, no, there's no cooldown. there's no cooldown on the drone. There's no cooldown on the drone, dude. And I was literally telling him, like, there is a cooldown. There is a cooldown. He was like, no, there isn't. There is no fucking cooldown. I'm pretty sure there's been multiple arguments that have happened with Siege. Many. I mean many. I don't remember all of them. I'm glad I don't. But yes, that's being one of them. Another argument I remember having prior to playing this with them was me trying to explain the difference between simple and easy, and me saying that they're both the same. In the back of his mind, he was just like, oh, I'm sorry, you said simple and easy are the same thing? They're not the same thing. Get your facts straight. There's a lot more to what I'm saying. It's other stuff as well. It's a lot deeper. Just anything that I think about in my mind, I would just be told, like, oh, context matters, get your facts straight. This also leads into my next point that I do remember, which I don't even know if this has anything to do with Siege or Dauntless or anything that we did or anything that's happened. All I know is that there's been a lot of drama going on during this time. This is where the whole drama fucking started, from what I know. That, and also me being around KSB, which made me hate the friend group even more, because I was, I guess, associating him with the friend group because he was just like them. And so not only was being accused for money, but I was also accused of bad-mouthing Beef My Frank offhand and Equinox behind their backs, along with someone else that I've met too, which I was then, to their eyes, they were under the impression, or they were quote-unquote assuming or think that I was associated with this person named Edmund the King 44, who I've known in school, and I will say he's a bad influence. I said I wouldn't mention people's names, but yeah, that's his real name. The first time I met him, I knew him in my school. It wasn't over Xbox at all. No. I knew him in school because I thought he was pretty cool. He likes cars, GTA, and whatnot. He likes Five Nights at Freddy's and whatnot. I've talked to him a little bit at first. Like, I was kind of shy, but then we started talking a little bit more. And he seemed like a pretty cool guy until eventually I then asked for his Xbox, and I got his Xbox. And so we started playing together. I streamed myself playing Destiny 2. I think this was the first time I actually played Destiny 2, if I'm correct. Oh wait, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. The first time I played Destiny 2, I was playing the Red War campaign, and I was struggling. And so he was watching my stream. This was around the time Mixer was still around. So I was streaming myself play the Red War campaign, and I got stuck on a specific part of the campaign where I was going the wrong way. And then he ended up telling me that, oh, you're going the wrong way. That's the wrong way. That's the wrong way. Because my stream was delayed. So yeah, that was probably the first time me and him hung out or ever talked on Xbox Party. Until I met someone else named NadeShot200. Not the actual YouTuber, but that was just his gamer tag. I know him in real life, who's also friends with him. Because they're both known for playing GTA together and just staying up all night, staying up past like midnight playing GTA. That was the first time I knew him. It was over Xbox, and then eventually later on down the line, like 2020, I would meet him in real life, again, in my school. So the second time of me being in a party with them was just me, him, and NadeShot, and they were playing GTA, doing their thing. I was just doing my thing, just kind of hearing them talk and everything. And I guess to them, or to this Equinox person, he was under the impression that I was associating myself with them, because he might have looked in my parties, that I had my party public, and they saw I was playing with these guys when I wasn't. But here's the thing I didn't realize is that this Edmund the King person was very toxic because he exhibited a lot of illegal behavior and a lot of behavior on Xbox which could get him potentially banned or permanently banned. I wasn't made fully aware of the behavior that he did until KSB told me that he has a low reputation score and that he's known for being one of the worst people you can ever meet on Xbox, and I didn't believe him at first, but you know what? He was right. I've also found out, yeah, big eye-opener. I also found out that he's been talking to underage girls. And he's also been doing a lot of shady shit behind the scenes. Yeah, pedophile. He's also been known for leaking people's phone numbers. And also he's been known for trying to threaten to dox people. And also threatening to do some other shit. Overall, he was just known for being a shit talker regardless. And taking things to the extreme all the time. He would constantly talk shit to anybody that he meets online, saying that he's quote-unquote better than everyone, that he's a higher level than everyone, that, oh, I'm good at GTA, you're fucking garbage, oh, you should get off this game, or shit like that, or a lot, like, stuff to the worst level that you can ever think of. Very worse. A lot worse. This guy was worse than Mint Gold. I mean, way worse, and should be avoided. I mean, if you want to be friends with him, go ahead. I wouldn't, please. By the way, yeah, I avoided him. I don't talk about him. He's a pedophile. He did the same thing on Instagram too, because when I added him on Instagram, I pointed out the shit that he did, and then he ends up telling people on one of his posts to block me and unfriend me, even after I said to him that he should not be trusted because of what I was saying was true. Now, it's tough to say whether or not I had evidence as to whether or not he quote unquote has really bad history. Like the shit that he did on Xbox, it is a lot worse than what anyone can do. He got com banned on his main account, and that's why he would make multiple alt accounts, because during this time I would also make multiple accounts for whatever reason, just in case I got banned. Little did I know, I guess I was in the wrong, and I was associating myself with me being like him. I met someone else during this time too named Bongo, who she was like younger than me, or no, I was the same level. I was probably like 16, she was like 12 or like 13, who I've also met off of Nadeshot, surprisingly. This was the first way of me escaping from the toxic friend group, was also resorting to them. Not only that, me being introduced to Bongo, them being in her friend group, because I was also a part of that. And we would play games like Roblox and whatnot and what have you. I think it was just Roblox and Rec Room at one point. It's a very long story. It's a lot to go into. I mean, a lot of information. Anyway, what I was saying about Bongo's friend group, that whole situation, I don't remember all of it in contrast, but that's a very deep subject to go into. All I remember happening is that I would play Roblox, and we'd be playing Funky Friday, which was a good game. I was struggling a lot just to hit the arrow keys and whatnot, and just try to figure out the buttons and keep up to rhythm with the songs. It was a game I was struggling with. That was the way I got out of that whole situation, until eventually, as time went on, I believe they started coming back to invite me to their party. I want to say this is probably 2019, maybe 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember exactly when this happened. Again, I'm jumping from different events that happened from what I know, but just trying to explain it in order, it's hard for me to do that. But yeah, that's all I can say. Hold on, where are we here on the timeline? I guess what happens after that, I mean, for what I remember out of my time being on the platform, or me being on Xbox in general, I remember one summer I would spend time just trying to get achievements for Rec Room and trying to go for I was trying to go for the achievements, and it was utter hell. And I've hated myself, and I'm absolutely never again going through that torture fest in my life. Me, Bongo, and one of our other friends, we would also go on to playing games like Minecraft and stuff like that. This is where I met one of our other friends, Avenger. I mean, I don't even know if he's watching, but Avenger is when I guess I was introduced to him by her, and me and him would end up going playing games like Apex. We would play Apex quite a lot, actually. It was me, him, and his other friend, who was known as Octane, who went by the name TTV Ice Cream, but then he changed it to, I think, TTV AX or Apex or whatever the hell happened. We would play countless games of Apex Legends, and I would have a good time. We would all like level up and shit, and get kills and get wins. So that was a good experience. Me and Avenger would also play Roblox as well. We would play Michael Zombies and probably other games too. And of course, at this time, I was still talking to Edmund and Nadeshot, and we were all in parties. And fast forwarding to a couple months later, maybe a year later, the unthinkable happened. Since I was given another chance, I remember one time or one point where it was midnight and I was playing whatever I was playing. I can't remember. But Equinox invited me to a party, and the ultimatum happened. He was going into all the shit that I've said and done, and how I badmouthed him and everyone else in the friend group, and I backstabbed everyone, and how I didn't want to admit to the truth. I'm trying to get everything and explain everything, but so much other shit happened prior to this that wasn't even part of the friend group. I went on to talking about how I made different accounts, multiple Xbox accounts, because I was hanging out with Edmund at the time. I went from talking about how I was in Bongo's friend group, and I was talking with her friends, and we would play Roblox all day and whatnot. That was the way I escaped this whole thing, but eventually it came back. COVID eventually happened, and this is where everything was very devastating for me. I believe the ultimatum that Equinox was giving me. He went on to a whole long constitution about all the things I did and said, and which left me speechless. I didn't understand anything that he was talking about at all. And I believe the game he was on before he even decided to invite me to a party was Call of Duty Black Ops 2. It was almost I was being condemned for my actions, and that everything that I've done was entirely my fault and that I should be ashamed. It was like I was held on Judgment Day. Like, I didn't even know how to contain myself. I was being judged and criticized, and I was being backstabbed, and I was just being accused of things and associated with people that I didn't want to be a part of. That quote unquote, everything is my fault. I just never felt accepted by his friends, and I felt like they were just treating me like a piece of shit. And the fact that I was different, I never thought like them, and I was never like-minded like them, I was being harassed for whatever reason. And they were accusing me of dumb shit. And the reason why I have 1,000 hours on Siege, and the reason why I've been playing it alone, is because I was being manipulated. Let's just say that. And that he was trying to guilt trip me into feeling bad, and for me feeling sorry, and that it was all my fault. I was gifted another game at this time, I believe. Well, no, this was like moments after this has happened, but I've been gifted another game by Offhand called Ultimate Chicken Horse, which is a fun game, I want to say. I had fun just messing around. We all played it together. I never really touched it again after that, so that was it. Going on back to 2020, COVID-19, early COVID, it was a devastating time for all of us. It was a devastating time for me especially. We were all just so isolated from each other, and we all just didn't have that social interaction. And all of us were just going mad, and we're feeding off of each other like dogs. This is where the drama clearly escalated, and the reason why? It was because KSP. I still have the screenshots from Google Hangouts and everything. I still have all of that still kept safe. It's a lot to go into. There's been numerous things happening. He said, she said, there's been all of that happening, and there's been like homophobia, and there's been like other stuff. I even got into an argument with Equinox about the N-word and how it's racist, and he was telling me this multiple times. This was the major argument, this the major heated argument that I remember having, because I've clearly mentioned him and told him that the N-word is racist when he was clearly telling me that it's not racist. It was just constant back and forth arguing. Us barking at each other like we're dogs. And the reason why I hated him was because of KSP. Now, I don't hate him anymore, per se. This was back then. I'm starting to see less of a reason to hate him now, because all this, you guys got to remember, this is in the past. There's no point into lingering on the past, because you don't get anywhere by focusing on the past. You have to learn how to press forward. So anyway, going back to my whole World War II era, I want to say, or Vietnam War era of this whole history thing, a bunch of drama happened. KSP was going after one of my other friends on Google Hangouts. I want to say, I forget his name, but it was my black friend who I'm really close with, and me and him are music producers, and me and him both have a passion for music, and we're both passionate about what we do. And he was also the friend that was always there with me during COVID, because he knew I was going through a really hard time and that I felt so isolated. I've also known him in middle school as well, so me and him have been very close. But even he couldn't stand it, because when KSP was starting shit, when he was trying to cause drama, he was accusing me of shit that just over the littlest things possible that it's not even my fault. Perfect example. One time I was asked by him, like, have you watched any of Russian Badger's videos? Which Russian Badger, if you don't know, is a YouTuber. It was that whole argument that started, and then he was telling me, like, how do you not remember what the characters say every goddamn video? And so then came into the whole shenanigans stop where I send him a link to one of his videos. Then he ends up saying, oh, is that a hyperlink? That's a hyperlink, a shortcut, not a standard link. Not what I asked for. And then he was telling me, like, oh, you went the easy way, the lazy way. That way we'll leave you homeless. And I said, shut the fuck up to him. And then he said exactly my point. I said, I'm not homeless, okay, so stop being an asshole. My best friend comes out and says, yo, cut it out. Leave him the hell alone. Because even he was fed up with it. But all rest assured aside, it's a lot more than just that. It's not just that. There's a lot more to go into. I'm not going to get into that other half of the part, because a lot of that is a very sensitive topic I don't want to get into. That was his side of the story. I'm not explaining that. I'm explaining mine. He eventually was going on a whole constitutional rant, or a constitutional explanation as to everything that I've done and how I backstabbed him and how I should be ashamed, and how all the things I was accused of doing, or I was doing around Equinox, one of them being how I was asking for his opinion on what his favorite type of shotgun is, and then he gave me his opinion, and I got mad at him just for saying something that I didn't think he was right. I was getting pissed off at him just for saying that his opinion was wrong, which was not okay, I guess. And once again, he was accusing me of being just like Edmund, who would go behind people's backs and who would also false report people constantly, which I don't do. I only false reported once, and I mean once. If you false report someone once, that's not going to affect you. It will take multiple false reports to either get you con banned or banned. but one false report does not mean anything. I was also told by him that Equinox is trusted by Microsoft, that he's helped them find game-breaking glitches and help them discover hackers and stuff like that. And me getting mad at his opinion is not okay, and that I fucked up. Then I backfired with the whole long constitution, saying like, oh my god, holy shit, so much backstabbing around me, and a bunch of other stuff that I went into. I don't want to get into great detail. So this is pretty much the Marshall Mathers era, I'm going to say. And the reason why I say that is because here's why. I was accused of, redacted, raping Equinox's dead mother's grave, her dead corpse or something, which I think that's very fucked up, if you ask me. Like, that sounds like something that would be in like an Eminem song. Like, are you actually fucking serious? Like, when did I ever say that? I never talked behind his back about his family, and that was Edmund that did that. And of course, around this time, me and Black Friend, my best friend, we would talk a lot. I would tell him literally everything that happened, how I felt about the whole situation. I would get really angry and pissed, and I would tell him exactly what happened and address the drama. And he got sick and tired of it too. It made him more angry than it did with me, because I didn't even know what to do. But see, this is when me and him started talking all the time, and I mean all the time. We would always call, always talk, and the majority of the calls and interactions that me and him would have, I would be very afraid to go silent. I was terrified of him. I was actually terrified of him, but he's one of my best friends, and he's a music producer. I think what drew me and him closer was the fact that we both had a passion for music, and we both take passion in what we both do. But just at the start of me knowing him, I was always terrified. I'm not comparing anyone to here. I'm not comparing anyone to anyone here, because I'm not comparing him to quote unquote Eminem, Marshall Mathers. I'm not saying that. But yeah, the vibes I would get off of him, and not saying he is this way, but the vibes I would get on the calls with him is Marshall Mathers vibes, because I was having like thoughts about just things that I shouldn't be thinking about. I was in a very rough patch. I was going through a really rough time in my life. Me and Equinox ended up getting searched in school because of the final chance he also gave me, because he was willing to give me another chance. I accepted it, and I thought everything was going to go well. I thought we were going to move on from the past. And we were playing a game called Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which the title clearly describes, and I'd like to say this from here on out. Ghost Recon Breakpoint is the exact definition of what happened within me playing with him, because there's this thing called a friend pass, which if you don't know what friend pass is, you're able to give a friend pass to someone who's able to play the entire game with you for free. It was me, offhand, and Equinox playing, and his other friend, I remember this very well. His other friend was in the party by the name of Canadian Newt. And this other dude that I met off of Apex, which I was told by one of his other friends that he's toxic and that he shouldn't be trusted and that he's known for seeking attention or whatever was going through my mind. I don't remember. But his gamer tag was XXDrewDog, who I choose to avoid. And he was inviting me to a party. He would constantly spam invite me over and over again. This is, again, I was surrounded by toxic people that I needed to cut out in my life. And then Equinox was like, oh, invite him. This is the whole chaotic arc of my entire story. This is the whole fucking breaking point where everything went to absolute shambles. So I invite Drew Dog to the party, and we're just having a good time, right? Equinox brings me on a couple of missions, and I didn't even know what to do until he tells me just scout out the area with the drones, just go on your drone. But he never tells me exactly what to do after that. And then, you know, him and his other friends and whatever, they were all just blubbering around random shit or whatever. I had a burning feeling inside that I didn't know how to describe it. And the burning feeling I had, I felt a lot of hatred and anger inside. I was furious during this time. I wanted to lash out. I wanted to scream. I wanted to yell. Until then, the way I reacted was not okay. I lost my fucking shit. I mean, I've lost it. I've went mentally insane. I went crazy. I was cursing him out. And then, the truth be told, what happened was I lost my Xbox for 6 months. I did get my Xbox after 6 months. I had to get help. I got my Xbox taken away for 5-6 months, whatever happened. And then I was bored until eventually I got it back. And then I was completely ready. There were other stuff that happened. This is the part where me and him ended up getting searched in school. Why? Because I fucking did it. Probably shouldn't mention this on YouTube. I'm just saying, this is the whole graphic part. I probably should even mention on YouTube first and foremost. But guys, I'm being real. This happened. This is the whole fucked up arc, I want to say. So anyway, me and him get searched in school. I go through this whole process, whatever bullshit, whatnot happened, right? And this goes on for a couple months. And so eventually, once I'm cleared of everything, once I'm cleared of all the charges or whatnot, then everything is fine. I guess me and him are in the clear. We had peer mediations, like 2 peer mediation meetings already. And I guess we just talked it out, and that was about it for that matter. I don't remember what happens after that. I mean, so much other shit has happened. I'm telling you guys, like, it's a lot to go into. I'm just going off from what I know at the top of my head. I have an idea on what happened, but the thing is, I don't have the full understanding. So the only person that knows everything that has happened with me, which I don't want to admit the truth, is Equinox. And yes, he has a YouTube channel. If you're watching this, I'm not calling you out or anything. I'm not saying any of that. You opened my eyes to all the shit I've done, okay? I'm sorry. I'm cool with you now, alright? I'm cool. But you know the rest of the whole story. I don't, apparently. In the end, once after this whole situation's been resolved, me and him were cool, and I apologized for everything. I told him I just didn't feel accepted. I opened up to him finally. It took some time for me to apologize because I never really felt sorry. I didn't know how to make it up to him. I was always afraid of him. Just like how I was afraid of my black friend. Best friend. And like I said, I was getting Marshall Mathers vibes off of him because I think what he was trying to do was help. He didn't want me to feel upset. Like, he knew a lot of shit was going on with me, and I was afraid to go silent because something bad would happen. I would always get afraid of him being angry all the time. I've always got afraid when he had outbursts as well. I mean, but over time I've gotten used to it, and yeah, it was a rough spot for both of us, really. I just had really messed up thoughts planted in my head just prior to being in this friend group. That's all I can tell you guys. Thoughts I shouldn't even come to believe. Like, I shouldn't accept the fact that I've been wasting money on people. It was all for sheer manipulation, and I just holding on to that belief and having to be forced to accept that, which I didn't want to, really affected me. As far as how this whole friend group thing ended, I mentioned to Equinox and told him, look, I don't think we should be friends. I don't think I deserve a chance in the friend group, and he accepted it. And yeah, I mean, well, actually, no, we're still friends, but we're cool now. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It's in the past. I mean, I don't know why I'm making a video on this. I should already move on. This was years ago. The reason why I even made a video on this in the first place is just to explain to you guys my story. It's not a matter of what happened on my time being on Xbox, but it also plays into the shit that happened in real life with me. We have online friends and IRL friends. The online friends I mentioned were Bongo and a few others, Avenger and stuff like that. Mint Gold's friends. Those are all his online friends. They don't really matter, and they don't really come into the picture to anything. Yeah, I never really had that much beef with anyone online. I never really had any online beef with anybody whatsoever. It was mostly just the IRL, the people I knew IRL, and it was just the friend group stuff. And yes, this goes into my next point. The she I'm talking about. Me and her situation are different because she's tried to find people to fit in. She's tried to fit in on this platform. And she's tried to find people that would accept her for who she was. And I was just misunderstood. My situation, her situation were just completely disattached because I did not go through nearly as much as that. Have I met online friends on here? Yes, I have. Did they all have beef with me? No. I was just misunderstood and I was just misled. They didn't have a problem with me. They didn't curse me out or anything. They just straight up ghosted me. When we talk about online friends and IRL friends, they're two different kinds of things. Online friends, to be fair with y'all, you never know who you can trust. Trust no one. And the parents were right. You don't even know if you can consider anyone a close friend or a friend, whatever. You never know. The same can go for real life as well if you know someone, because then you don't know what people's intentions are. If you know where someone lives, then it's easy for you to get back at them. But if they're like far out of the state and they're trying to harass you and dox you or whatever, then you just don't tell them your location, I guess. But it was also an outlet, I guess, to me escaping this whole thing because I was in this whole thing. But just going on from this experience alone, I want to tell you guys what I have learned from this past experience, or what I've learned from the past. I've learned that you just can't take offense to everything. Yes, it's okay not to understand jokes, but at the same time, you have to have respect for those who do understand jokes. I also want to mention too, I am pretty sure I was masking during all this. That's a big trait. I want to mention to y'all that I do have autism. What's very common in autistic people like me is that we tend to mask our emotions. We tend to mask just to blend in with people. And little did I know, this friend group, these people also had autism. I was trying to be someone I'm not. I was trying to act like this person, and I was, again, it's masking. It's what a lot of us do. It's just a way of fitting in, but he was able to figure that out, and I was being judged for it. Like, I did it for so long, and then I got burnt out, and then I couldn't contain myself anymore to that. I just didn't know what to do. See, I didn't realize I was doing it, but I was doing it. I'm pretty sure I did this around other people as well. I mean, it's a very common thing. But yes, I mean, I was probably in 10th grade when this all happened. Going into 11th grade, I want to say maybe like 2021, maybe 2022. The drama sort of dimmed down. The drama dimmed down after that. There wasn't as much that happened. 11th grade was when I was finally able to just feel saved. Like, I was able to have a saving grace. I was in a much better spot then. I wasn't focused too much on drama. That whole situation just ended. During summer, I remember KSP. He was going towards me, and he was like, "Fuck you! Fuck you!" Like, he was that pissed. But here's the thing, right? This person I knew in my school, and I've been in his homeroom, and I've been in classes with him since freshman all the way to senior. And then I guess, then I tend to realize is that he started to hate me less, and maybe I did too, but deep down he still hates my guts, but just not as much as before. But yeah, just I knew he was just a know-it-all, which pissed me off, and he was coming off to show it that way. I was surrounding myself with less toxic people, and I feel like me just like where I am right now, and just the friends that I have right now and the people I'm talking to right now, I'm in a much better spot. Here's the thing. Don't surround yourself with toxic people. Please don't, because the way you can tell if someone's toxic is if they use you, they guilt trip you, if they play with your emotions, if they play with your feelings, if they dismiss you for everything, if they get jealous of you having other friends, if they constantly tell you how to live your life. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, everyone knows that here. I don't see myself, some days I do kind of see myself toxic. I do get caught up into the thoughts of like, maybe I may come off as a narcissist, or I may come off as being judgmental, but I don't know for sure. Because the thing is, it's like, I don't want to associate myself with other people, but it's just trying to really figure out who I really am at the same time. And yeah, guys, I believe that concludes my story. I mean, there's that. Everything up to this point to what happened, and I mean, I guess this whole friend group, they're all cool now. I mean, I don't really know exactly if that's the case. I feel like most of what I talked about is just, you gotta leave the Xbox stuff aside, because real life, real shit. This is not Xbox, this is real shit that's happening. I want to consider myself lucky that I've only had it with one friend group, and the other friend groups I've been a part of, they were never toxic. They weren't toxic at all, and that's why I've tend to avoid this friend group. And these were people that I knew in real life. They were not online. These were people I knew in real life in my school. So yeah, I want to consider myself lucky, because otherwise, if I were to try to fit in and make friends on quote-unquote online, if I were to try to make friends online and try to form online friend groups, then you gotta be very careful what you say. I mean, especially around other people, because it can end up backfiring you. I'm starting to see why a lot of people are not really talking on mic a lot on games, because either they're trying to focus on their mental health and they don't want to deal with toxicity, and that's fair, and they don't want to be judged for anything, and they just want to play games in peace, and they just want to have fun. I mean, I'm not the only person that goes through shit like this. This happens to everyone. I mean, there's people that go through far worse shit than I do. But yeah, I mean, it's better than just having to deal with like a bunch of people on your friends list fucking hating you and accusing you of shit, and like trying to start shit and argue with you and think that they're better than you, and that they're trying to make you feel bad and guilt trip you in retaliation of you being friends with someone else, because then they get jealous of you and they start backstabbing you and talking mad shit. It's better to not have to go through that. It's better to just avoid that in general, because the truth be told, I never went through that situation. I never been in that situation. Like I said, yes, I made friends along the way. Most of them I met through Siege, but they were never like that. They didn't get that way at all with me. They were just people that I met. They were just complete strangers, and they weren't really friends. When you add someone on Xbox, it's a gaming console. Like, they're not your friends. They're like, you meet them, right? And then after that, they just forget about you the next day, and they're just like, oh yeah, bye-bye. Like, I don't know who you are. So you just gotta let it go. That's what I've learned. That's what I had to learn, is just that just don't treat people online as if they're quote unquote your genuine good friends, that they always have your back and they always are asking you. No, 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 no. No one gives a shit. And this is why I stopped playing online multiplayer games too. There's nothing wrong with playing online multiplayer. I mean, it's just like, well, actually, no, I should say, maybe for me. I'm not hammering anyone. I'm not just going at people just saying like, oh, don't do it. It's not worth it. Like, there's nothing wrong with making friends online and building connections and whatnot and what have you. It's just, there are risks. Like I said, you don't know who to trust. So you gotta make sure you actually trust someone. And if you're just playing games together, then you're just playing games together. So there's really, what is the whole dilemma within that? You're just playing games together and that's it. And you're never gonna hear from them again. I feel like the whole Xbox ecosystem and just the ecosystem of online is just, we're all like very divided, and everyone just wants to, either people are just moving to smaller groups now. They're no longer interacting with a majority of people. I mean, times have changed. I mean, just saying from henceforth, like online, Xbox, social media, it's all been less social, and it's all been within smaller groups, because this happens to everybody. I'm not the only one. We're all just kind of connected in a way. Connected as in like, oh, we all been there. Oh, you've been through that, man? Oh, I know exactly what you're going through. Anyway, enough of me rambling. That's my story. I think I explained it as best I can. And I do want to put a viewer discretion, because some of this part, if YouTube doesn't demonetize me because or doesn't give me a community guideline strike, which they probably will give me a community guideline strike because I mentioned a lot of graphic stuff. Hopefully YouTube does not ban this video. Hopefully YouTube does not take it down. And there's my story, everything I've been through to what I know from my side of the story. Yeah, that's just about it, really. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. The moral of the story is just be careful. See ya.